But the president's going to get an immediate $1 trillion, or just shy of $1 trillion.
900.
All right, 900 billion in the debt ceiling. And these cuts are going to take place over a 10-year period of time.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
How much are we getting the first year, and how much are we getting the second year? How much is in defense, and how do we hold future Congresses accountable to what you're doing today?
Right. That's a good question. So $21 billion right away for the first fiscal year. Then it's about 46, I think, doing this off the top of my head, for the second fiscal year. How much out of defense in the first fiscal year? It will be $9 billion from what we call the security accounts. That's not just defense, that's all security. Homeland Security, national security, and then $2 billion to $4 billion the next year. So the cuts on defense were minimized quite a bit by the most recent agreement John Boehner reached. More to the point, how do you bank these cuts? What conservatives like me have been fighting for years are statutory caps on spending, little legal caps in law that says government agencies cannot spend over a set amount of money, and if they breach that amount across the board, sequester comes in to cut that spending, and you can't turn that off without a supermajority vote. We got that in law. That is here. So the best way you can actually bank that $1 trillion spending cut is to have legal caps in law, which we haven't had since the 1990s. We now have them. And then the committee, the special committee, is tasked with getting the 2.1 or the 1.1 to 1.5 trillion dollars in cuts. Now, this, I got to tell you, Sean, we're not going to raise taxes in this committee. Number one, we're not going to put the kind of people on this committee.
Are you on this select committee?
I don't know. They haven't been named yet. But we're not going to put the kind of people on this committee that are going to, go for a tax increase. Number one. Number two, it couldn't pass the House even if they tried. Number three, the baseline they use, the measuring stick that they use for this committee, makes it really basically impossible to raise taxes. Because to raise taxes and get credit for it in this committee, you would have to commit a $3.5 trillion tax increase. The Bush tax cuts go away, the alternative minimum tax kicks in. You wouldn't get credit for any of that, and then you'd have to raise taxes on top of that. That's why we think tax increases are non-starter.